name's Bob Jackson, and I was a ranger in Yellowstone for 30 years, and got caught up in quite the controversy. Being a backcountry ranger was a little different than others. I guess I got into an area that had a lot of outfitters, and with those outfitters there was a lot of poaching going on. Actually, none had been caught in the area I was, the whole 40 by 50 miles area I patrolled for 40 years. In the end, I probably caught more poachers than all the rangers combined for 70 years. I had stakeout camps. This is how they left a lot of the elk, which is what caused all this stuff to go forward. I'd write reports to the interagency pre-hunt meetings, of which I called it Grizzly Mortality of Thoroughfare. One fall we had 8 grizzlies killed and 4 hunters and guides mauled. The issues really came to a head with all the grizzlies being killed back there because they were going on all the carcasses just like a salmon run. They'd come down from 20 miles inside of Yellowstone, and that was my concern. They were used to being habituated by the hunters, the guides, and of course the guides and the outfitter really kind of liked it that the grizzlies were getting all the meat, because then they didn't have to pack it out 30 some miles for a guide or for a hunter. They had started out with salt blocks, but then the wars came in. I started documenting where all the camps were, and the Forest Service, these are all outside the park, and this is just one outfitter. This guy would bring in up to 1,000 kilos of salt every year. And those are the places he would put them to draw the elk out of Yellowstone. Then the LA Times wanted to do a story, and then from there on they tried to do everything to keep the story out of the newspapers. In the end they failed. It was front page, LA Times, they were syndicated, it went all around the country, and then people had to choose sides. And about to the man, the career government employees decided their job was more important than what the reason they were there for. People would have been have to put on their oath. They knew the stories they had were made up, and so they capitulated. But in the meantime, there was a lot of dirty tricks. They'd open up boxes, mail, anything they could that they thought might get some information that could help them. They tried to keep me from catching poachers, and the ones that they did, they'd like to turn over to someone higher than me, of which then they took one case that was outfitter himself that went in 3.5 miles and shot an elk. They reduced it down to littering in the backcountry just because they didn't want to follow through with the rules saying that outfitter shouldn't be in there. I really appreciate what Pierre did. I thought I could do it all on my own. I've been used to it, doing it. But when it came down to it, and after a year of this thing going on, and Pierre, or a friend of mine that knew Pierre, got a hold of him, and then Senator Grassley said, yeah, if you want some help, we'll take it. And that's when I found out that agencies, or people like a senator that cares, and an organization like Pierre, what they can do to help out. 2 people in the Department of Interior, higher up, Steve Griles, Paul Hoffman, who had been an assistant to Cheney. They both tried to get Grassley to stop with the case, and of course he didn't do it. I'll give it to Grassley and I'll give it to Pierre. In the end, it came out good. This went on for 2 years. They try to attack everything that you value in yourself. I got to go back and finish out my career. I'll read this from the Washington Post. Yellowstone Ranger vindicated under whistleblower laws. It says, with the help of the lawyers of Pierre, Jackson filed a claim against the Park Service, NPS, under the national whistleblower laws. I'm glad that what we did made people become more aware of what is actually happening in the far country. Thank you, and thank you for Pierre. Thank you for Senator Grassley.